Hello again, everyone. My lesson is titled Fear by Prophecy. From the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, and verse 8, here's what it says. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. I'm a little concerned about our belief in these prophecies, and I made a lesson recently titled Only War. In that lesson, I pointed out that the prophecies seem to be fulfilled only by war nowadays, so that when you hear wars being fought here or there, and it's scary as ever, we say, oh, the book is true. But in biblical times, you didn't necessarily need war for the children of Israel to say that the book is true or God is true, because blessings would also say that God is true. And by what we read in the Torah, there was never a time where you had only war being there to prove that the prophecies are true. The book itself lets you know that prophecies were shown to be quote-unquote true by both war and blessings, by bad times and good times. So that if you ran into bad times as Israel, you know God's word is true, that he spoke through his prophets and the scribes wrote it down, because you are entering into a time of punishment because you got off course. So they said the word of the Lord is true. Just the same way when there was abundance of corn and wine, crops were growing nice and the blessings of the Lord were there, they would say the word of the Lord is true. The God of our fathers has kept his word to us. He has delivered us. He has blessed us, corn and wine. There's abundance in the land. Everybody is happy and nice. We're keeping the feasts and holidays and so on. And there is abundance of blessings, and our children are just populating the place like crazy. So the Torah shows that the word of God is shown to be true by both good and evil times, if I can play it like that, but never by only bad times or only by war, because no Israelite would have been crazy enough to trust in that God no matter how much power he has. Anyone who wants you to bow to them and to worship them in heaven or on earth by buying into their system or throwing your hands up to heaven to worship him up there is just evil alone. But if it is a book of truth, then the Bible is telling you that prophecies are true only when good and bad result based on what has been spoken or prophesied. But in our world today, no one can prove that enough good is happening, or any good that amounts to blessings or fulfillment of prophecy. And the deluded ones always say, well, the good times will come later. The problem with that is that in biblical times, the good times did not wait 2,500 years to come and so on. And notice that after Jesus came, the Hebrew Messiah, bad times didn't just wait to happen a couple hundred years after he left, but bad times were going on right in his lifetime and after he left, such as in AD 70, how the Hebrews were chased out of Jerusalem. But also in his lifetime, bad times happened because they killed him and threw him upon a cross. If that is good, maybe I need to learn something else. But if you go back to the Garden of Eden, as I'm talking here about my title, Fear by Prophecy, In the Garden of Eden, if the book is true, then it's letting us know that the Creator said, if you eat of this tree, you will die. So he told him of this particular tree. But the knowledge that something would happen bad and the knowledge of something evil being present in earth, even in Eden, did not cause them to live in fear. So the true word of the Creator, supposedly so, no matter how much it talked about something evil, did not let you live in fear. You could still live with the good times and the blessings and so on. That was there in Eden. So the word of God seemed to have started out with the presence of evil in the world and even in Eden. But it did not cause you to be gripped by fear. But today, the prophecies only let you live in fear. People are digging and making underground bunkers. There's all this talk about nuclear weapons, miniature nuclear weapons hidden all over the different countries and so on, that can just be activated at any time. Then you've got the thousands and thousands of nuclear weapons owned by different armies in different countries all over the earth. And then you've got the GMO foods that's poisoning everything from, everything that you need to eat. Then you've got this RNA technology that's going to supposedly just target only black people, although it can be used to target others as well and do whatever. You've got all kinds of evil on earth. And we say this is a fulfillment of prophecy. Fear by prophecy. I want you to think for yourself how much respect this book should get. Because the book itself is telling you that the Creator started out letting you know that evil is present. And it went on to say that the serpent was smarter, more crafty, more skillful and more evil than any beast of the field. Notice the introduction of the serpent is letting you know that before he did evil in the text, that he already operated by evil. Just the very introduction of the serpent lets you know something is wrong right here. But even though evil was present, nothing of the word of the supposed Creator let them live gripped by fear. Fear only came in after the evil ran its course in their lives. Serpent could have done anything elsewhere, and I've already shown by my arguments and other lessons that the serpent already was intimate with evil and did evil elsewhere. And just a small recap here. If you look at how the serpent is introduced and what he accomplished in the Garden of Eden, he, in what I'll just call 2 minutes here so you get my point easier, he took them down with a temptation in Eden. In just 2 minutes, he got the woman to take the fruit, and she right away became an evangelist. So there's like a religious frenzy going on there. So she became an evangelist of the truth and fed him with spiritual knowledge, meaning Adam. And once he bought into the doctrine, he ate as well. But in 2 minutes, he took her down, and then he was taken down, Adam, as well, also very fast. The only way you can take down an entire creation that you didn't make, or a company across town, a manufacturer across town made, but the Creator made, or God made, the only way you can take down what he did in just about 2 minutes is if you are that skillful to pull that off in 2 minutes. Have you ever tried to break something because you want to throw it out, but it was too hard and you're trying to bend it to fit it in the bag, or to throw something in fine, you're trying to cut it or break it or whatever, damage it, to make it in a smaller, more manageable part, or to put it in your car for whatever reason to go get rid of it. And it's hard to break, it's hard to bend, it's hard to whatever, and it's taking you a long time. Sometimes you get it done. Eventually you get some power tool to deal with it, or eventually you just say, forget it, I'll just get rid of it like this, or I'll leave it till another time. Something that man made is so difficult to deal with. It took them thousands of years to do something to the supposed ozone layer. It's taking them many more thousands of years to do other things to the atmosphere and to our bodies, and to show you that our bodies are still just so awesome and powerful. They have to continue to do GMO and other stuff to our bodies, to foods and so on, and to the plants, because the moment they let up, the plants will regrow properly and rejuvenate themselves. Your body will go on to rejuvenate its proper DNA functioning and so on. So they have to keep up the pressure, continual pressure on your DNA, on the cells in your body. So the body and the trees, creation, so on, rejuvenates itself, the ocean cleans itself, and so on, because they are well made, not easily broken. But in 2 minutes, this serpent just took down the Creator's entire humanity and all the world. This Torah is tricking you, because that isn't possible. It's also hiding from you that the serpent would have had to be practicing evil to know how to do that so skillfully, and to do it right in God's courts, so to speak, because God seemed, from the text, to be frequenting the garden, and he didn't seem to be worried about it. God, mysteriously as well, kind of ignores the serpent for questioning when he asked the man and the woman what went on here. But he didn't bother to drill the serpent who started everything. He doesn't want to get any extra information. He just rushes right to judgment with the serpent, as if he already knows the deal with the serpent, that this is what the serpent is doing all the time. He is skilled at this, or he has been practicing this kind of stuff. So God seems to be aware of that. He doesn't bother to deal with questioning the serpent like he took the time to question Eve and question Adam. But notice he questioned Adam and Eve because they weren't used to doing evil or doing something quote unquote wrong. But the serpent was used to it, so the Creator just says, all right, let's just fast track this. Here's your judgment. I'm tired of you now. But nothing that went on of what the supposed Creator first said let them live in fear, even though there was a presence of evil right in their midst, in the tree, in the midst of the garden. But today the prophecies drive fear in you like a nail hanging God upon a cross. Something is wrong with the prophecies, people. You see, I figured out how to deal with the book. It is not that it is a bad thing or is wrong to try to prove that something is wrong with the Torah or the Bible by the manuscripts and so on and the scrolls. That's not wrong. It's not a bad way to approach it. It's just that because they're going to hide the original works, you can say, because of this and that, the scroll is fake and so on. But you will never prove it, because you will never find those most ancient scrolls to show them that the original scroll was different or it was fake and made up and so on. You will never get your hands on those. The way to deal with the Torah / the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, with their extra biblical books as well, Apocrypha and so on, is by the concepts that are written in the book. By the concepts used in the book. When you show those concepts to be seriously flawed, you have really taken down the book. You might not really be known like myself, just a handful of people wanting to listen to me, and some of them are just angry already anyway. But thankful for the ones who are sincerely trying to consider what I'm saying. But the concepts must always make sense, and it does not make sense to any of us that you can put so much work into building a shuttle to go supposedly into outer space, which just really means the closer edge of the atmosphere. Or you can put so much work into building generators and airplanes and whatever else you build on Earth to get them to function so well. But the Creator put His work that we cannot understand fully, just a drop in the bucket, until some things that we've already studied continue to be studied. Like trees have been studied for thousands of years, and people are still finding out things about trees. 2 years ago, they found breaking information about the life of ants, and men have been studying ants for thousands of years until ants are even mentioned in the Torah for their creativity and the way they operate in their life. But we're still learning things about ants. So the Creator put all of this in His creation of the world, and the serpent that He also made comes and takes it down. The serpent, more subtle than all the beasts of the field. That might seem, significant in the text, that he was smarter than. But it is a serpent. It doesn't say a man that was smarter than other men, but a serpent who is not as smart as man did all of this. And the Creator could not stop it. The serpent bested God at war. From that moment on, if we knew better as children, we would have closed the book and never read it again. Because you hear how they say, the best war to fight is the one where you conquer the enemy without lifting a sword. You just get their mind. Get them in some way to buy into your plan and to give up and so on, and to not fight you physically. The serpent beat God in the garden, and God couldn't reverse it. God knew he was so beaten, he didn't even bother to fight back the devil. He just cursed him. That's all he did. He just cursed him. He didn't even destroy him. He just cursed him, still left him with his life. He just hit him back after the fact. I'm going to curse you. But what the serpent did was instill fear by prophecies that he would even get God to do, to give you prophecies by fear. Where I showed already that the first prophecy in the Torah was serpentine. Look up that video. Prophecy, the root of prophecy is serpentine. I did that a couple months ago. So the first prophecy, as I showed in that video, showed, by my understanding, that the first prophecy came from the serpent, who we loosely call the devil or Satan. So then the next prophecy that supposedly some are saying God gave, and I don't know why God would have prophesied, but the next prophecy that it seems came was from God when he said whatever he said, and he pronounced a judgment on them all and kicked them all, and you're going to have hardship, and the seed of the woman bruise, heel, and whatever. So God's prophecy does not correct what the serpent did, because the serpent outsmarted God. The serpent put fear into them when they realized they had been tricked by the serpent and now they're doomed. God could have overcome the devil and showed his smartness. I mean, the God who was later known as Elohim, even though some say God and Elohim were not words used in the original manuscripts, but somehow he becomes known as Elohim. I mean, the God who became Yahweh, the God of Israel later, that same God did not do anything in Eden to counteract what the serpent already did, to give some antidote, some fix, some cure for what the serpent did. And they told us when we were young, says that God allows evil to show man that living on the wrong side is really bad for us. So when he delivers us, we will not want to go back there. That's garbage. Even in Bible school, they taught me that. That's garbage. Because if it just has to run a course of time to then show, then how long was the serpent working for, and God never cures the serpent of his evil tendencies to show him when he has reached rock bottom that, hey, this isn't good for me. He cursed the serpent, upon your belly you will go. So now he has changed the DNA of the serpent. Isn't that evil? Like they're changing your DNA today with the GMO foods, and you say that is evil and you don't want to live like that. When they change our DNA and now we got a head growing out of our eyes, we will say this is too far gone. But God changed the DNA of the serpent and now he's on his belly. And neither the serpent nor God cries out and says, this is too far gone. Now I have shown you, serpent, that your evil life is not good for you, because now look at what it has done for you. It makes you go on your belly and eat dirt. So now you see evil is not good for you. I will now change you back to your regular form, your regular state. And now you will be good, because you know evil is not the best way, because evil will destroy you and make you eat dirt. With no nutrition coming to you from that can sustain you. Especially since we know snakes, for the most part, don't eat dirt. Because some nut out there will say, well, there's one snake over there that eats dirt. You see, the prophecies in the book are letting you know that God failed miserably. Because the serpent brought in all of this fear. Because when God first spoke to the man and the woman, when they knew evil was present, they didn't live by fear. They weren't clenched by fear. But after the serpent did his work, now they were living in fear and they were hiding from God. After God spoke and did his judgment and so on, they still continued to live by fear, which means God didn't have any prophecy in the book or coming out of his appearance in evil in Eden at that time that would do anything like healing, like the balm of Gilead, like they say later in the book, to cure the man and the woman of the fear that had gripped them and the sickness that had gripped them, like they say in the Christian section, the sin-sick soul. So the serpent really won, because God was not able to do anything to reverse the effects of what the serpent did in Eden. God's first and only children were the children of Adam, not Amos 3:1-2. That says Israel is the only family he knew. I proved that already. Adam was the only family that God knew. So if he knew a second family, the family of Israel, Amos, if he was a true prophet, would have said, Israel, you are the second family that I have known on the earth. Or you are one of the only two families I have known on the earth. God and his prophet was lying in the book of Amos chapter 3. Israel, you are the only family I've known. But Adam was the first family on earth that the Creator knew. And God kicked out his family, his children. Adam was a son of God. So Eve would have been his daughter. God kicked out his own children out of the garden. So the devil won. You know why you're not delivered and you're getting ready for 400 more years of captivity? Because the devil beat your God long time ago and you're still praying to him. That's why. 400 more years for you. Now, I don't want it for you or for me, but I'm telling you, if you don't change your mind about these things, about one book, while you forget the books of your ancients, if you don't change your mind about a book whose origin is shrouded in mystery, and they will not present any original manuscript to prove anything to you, if you don't change your mind, you're going back into 400 more years of captivity. And this time, if they pull it off, it will be a permanent captivity. Because after this, you will never be free. Who is interested in your freedom? How much does God loves you? Is that love? You see a beast that is able to take down your creation. Man, the prized creation of God. This single beast didn't come with an entire army. He didn't come with a wand in his hand and worked all kinds of magic, although the word is a wand. But he just come, just blah, blah, blah in front of them. Just simple, easy, looking non-threatening. So he's dangerous though. And God kicks them out to be fully under the control of such an evil one. If his evil was limited in Eden, what's he going to do to them outside of Eden? God did this to his children. I want to ask you, are you the children of Israel? Your children get sick really bad, you rush them to the hospital. But God says, in Eden is a hospital with all the special trees that can heal you. But God says, I'm going to kick you out where the trees are harder to find and where the evil is. So cut off from me. Even if you find a fruit out there that can help you, the serpent's waiting out there just to bite you again with his words. You are doomed. God does this to his children. And so the prophecy that sent them out of Eden, let them live in fear day after day, and to show you that that is continuing today, are you in fear today? Even when you pick up the book of hope, the word of God, you are still in fear. Flip page 1, page 2, page 3, and so on. Fear grips you. You see all over the news, all over the radio, all over the TV, all over the internet, and even from the television evangelists running end-time prophecy shows, to grip you by the fear that is connected with prophecy. The book was written to grip you in fear, so you will never see the truth, because fear will limit what you see and what you do, the moves you make. Fear by prophecy. The prophecies were written to instill fear. But like in the New Testament, where they gave you all kinds of miracles by Jesus and healings by Jesus to distract you from the deception of Jesus, so it is that the prophecies were written with lots of blessings happening to Israel in the Old Testament, to distract you from the real purpose of the prophecy, which was to instill fear in you. Because the only prophecy today is the prophecy of war, which grips you with fear and destruction, destroying the world. The prophecies of God destroy the world today. People moved, shipped out of their countries, walking from many miles, seeking a new border. By the time some of them get there, half of them have already died, drying out in droughts, in desert areas, and so on, trying to find a little freedom, because prophecy is fulfilled. God loves all these people, and he sent them into the territories of the serpent. The prophecies were written only for fear. Because if this last days, so-called, is the real fulfillment of prophecy, you should be seeing the mingled good and bad happening with the prophecies. Instead, you only find the bad happening. When the evil was happening in Exodus, with the children of Israel being delivered from Egypt, even Moses could smear the blood and tell them to do that, and the death angel passed over them. And the children of Israel were spared. All these plagues coming upon the Egyptians, the children of Israel were saved. But even you yourself, just as an example, talking about the FEMA camps they're getting ready to put you in, and now they're going to kill you off, and they've already killed off a lot of our people, and they're killing white people as well, all over the earth, wherever they choose. That's proven to you that in our time and in the future, according to your own words that you taught me and that you teach many, you know a lot of people are going to die, whether you're black or white. It's telling you that there is no blood on a doorpost that's coming to save you, or you would tell your camp, when they put you in the FEMA camp, to smear some blood on your hand or under your arm where they probably can't see it easily, or smear some blood on the bottom of your foot or between your toes or something, because you're going to be kept safe in FEMA camps. But none of that's going to happen, because you're living according to fear by prophecy that's written to destroy you. How will it destroy you? To make you trust in the miracles of a book that you have never seen happen in our world. You've only read that it happened in our world. You've read of the miracles of the Old Testament Torah. You've read of the miracles of the New Testament. But where are the people who do the Old Testament miracles and who do the New Testament miracles today, and who walk on the water and so on? Who raise the dead? Who have angels coming and just wiping out an entire army? One angel wiping out a ton load of Assyrian soldiers. Like, how much was it? 184,000 or 180,000, something like that, Assyrian soldiers in one night? Where is all that in modern times, in the slave ship times, with the massacres that happened in modern times in India, when millions were slaughtered in India, in China, everywhere you go, people have been killed, black or white. All of these people in some way believed in God. Whether they call their God a cow, or Yahweh, or a monkey, or an ant, or a stone, whatever they worship, all of these people, even if they believed, like whatever they believed in Jesus, all of these people who believed in some kind of prophecy in these religions that are oftentimes using the base of the Hebrew book of Abrahamic religions. All of these people believe in prophecies that say good is going to happen, but the good only happened to deliver people while the book was being written in very ancient times. But today, if you believe it, it don't happen. Fear by prophecy. Prophecy was written to give you nice stories for you to accept it at first, to set you up, to live gripped by fear so that you will do whatever the writers want, which is to serve them. Prophecy is not written to deliver you. It's written to make you live by fear. So you hear the wars breaking out in Syria and everywhere else. You're gripped by fear. We gotta grow some crop. We gotta grow this to survive. And fear, 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 fear. Think. Think about where this book came from. Think. Not only could the serpent come in and defeat God on his own turf in Eden, but Cain got up right away again, and in the face of the Creator, he killed a man and didn't even seem to have any remorse over it. He didn't care. Like he knew God couldn't do anything. Even when God tried to punish him, he's like, well, that's kind of a steep thing, dangerous punishment for me, because anybody finds me, they're just going to kill me. Nothing like, I'm so sorry, I lost my mind, I don't know what happened. Like something just took me over, I repent, forgive me, crying many tears, and he's like, forgive me, and then begging for some leniency afterwards. No, he just goes right to the leniency. Look, can you lower that punishment like this? It's like you knew this is worthy of punishment. But who cares? I'm just going to do it because God can't really, like what God's going to do? He's going to kill me too? Because Cain knew something you don't know. Cain challenged God and even won somewhat in his sentence. Wonderful prophecies of the book.